Welcome back to Viral Ed for another educational video. As always, don't forget to like, comment below, share with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more videos in the future. There are some videos linked below, so go check them out also. Today we are going to talk about the circulatory system. We are going to dive into detail around what is the circulatory system, what is the structure of the heart, what does the circulatory system consist of, what is blood pressure, the parts of the blood, and the diseases and disorders associated with the circulatory system. Let's start with what is the circulatory system. The circulatory system is the absorption and circulation of materials throughout an organism. It is responsible for the delivery of food and oxygen to the body's cells and carries the carbon dioxide and other waste away from the cells. This movement of materials in and out of the cells occurs by two processes, the first being diffusion, an area from high concentration to low concentration, and the second being active transport, which is from an area of low concentration to high concentration. The main difference between the two is the energy required. Diffusion requires no energy, while active transport requires energy. The circulatory system helps maintain homeostasis, also known as maintaining constant temperature for the cells and body. So what is the structure of the heart? The heart pumps the oxygenated blood, which is high in oxygen, around the body to muscles and organs. It also pumps deoxygenated blood, which is low in oxygen, to allow for transport of waste from cells. It is simulated by an electrochemical impulse that initiates a double pump that beats in unison. So let's have a look at what the heart consists of. The heart consists of four parts, the first being the aorta, which carries blood away from your heart to the rest of the body. You then have your ventricles, which pump blood out of the heart into either the systemic or pulmonary circulation. The right ventricle goes into the pulmonary artery, while the left ventricle pumps into the aorta. We have the atrium, which is the entryway for the blood. Left is oxygenated blood, while the right is deoxygenated blood. The last part of the heart we have is the valves. The four heart valves keep the blood flowing in the right direction. They are the mitral, the tricuspid, the pulmonary, and the aortic valve. Each valve has flaps or leaflets that open and close once as the heart beats. Now let's see what else the circulatory system consists of. So we've got arteries. These take the blood away from the heart and they carry oxygenated blood to the muscles and organs. They are thick-walled and elastic. Have you ever felt your pulse in your neck or your wrist? So this is the expansion and contraction of the artery walls in response to your heartbeat. So if you put your fingers on your wrist, you can feel a heartbeat. That is the arterial wall expanding and contracting as your heart beats. We've also got veins. These carry the deoxygenated blood towards the heart. They contain valves and are closer to the surface. Compared to the arteries, veins are thinner and depend on the muscle contractions and diaphragmic movements for the blood to flow. Third, we have capillaries. These are the most numerous vessels in the body. They connect arteries and veins, and capillaries are microscopic as they are only one cell thick, so they are very tiny. Fourth, we have lymph vessels. They have lymph nodes which contain phagocytic white blood cells to filter bacteria and dead cells from the lymph. They are also only one cell thick, and they are located all around the body. Next, we are going to look into blood pressure. So blood pressure is the pressure of circulating blood against the walls of blood vessels. Most of the pressure results from the heart pumping blood through the circulatory system. But how is it measured? It is measured using the systolic pressure, which is the pressure of the ventricle contracting, and the diastolic pressure, which is the pressure during the relaxation or refilling phase of the ventricles. The measuring is done with a stethoscope, where you listen and you note down the systolic pressure over the diastolic pressure. The average blood pressure reading is 120/80. So what causes high blood pressure? There's many factors that can lead or increase the risk of high blood pressure. These include high sodium intake, high stress levels, nicotine or cigarettes, high alcohol consumption, obesity, aging, and it can even be hereditary. So what is blood and what is its function? So blood is a connective tissue made up of blood cells and blood plasma. It is about 4.5 to 5.6 litres in an adult. And its function is to deliver nutrients, oxygen, minerals, water, hormones, and enzymes, while also picking up waste, carbon dioxide, and heat. So let's have a quick look at the parts of the blood and what it's made up of. So first we've got the plasma, which is a non-living component of the blood and consists of 92% of water. The other 8% is a mixture of nutrients, salts, and hormones. We've got the red blood cells, which are the most numerous cells in the blood. They are biconcave disc-shaped and contain the iron protein hemoglobin, which allows them to be ideal for carrying oxygen around the body. There is 5 million red blood cells in one drop of blood. They are produced in the red marrow of the long bone. Next, we have the white blood cells, which are larger than the red blood cells, but there is less of them. Only 8,000 in one drop of blood compared to the 5 million of red blood cells. Their main function is to surround and digest bacteria, saving the body from diseases by forming antibodies. There is 2 types of white blood cells. First, we have the phagocytes, which engulf the bacteria and viruses by phagocytosis. Second is the lymphocytes, which produce the antibodies. The last part of the blood is the platelets. These are the smallest blood cells and are needed for clotting. They involve a series of enzyme-controlled reactions, resulting in the formation of protein fibers that trap blood cells and form a clot. So if you've ever cut your arm before and you've noticed that it ends up not bleeding forever, that is because of your platelets. They cause that reaction, which traps the blood cells and causes that clot, so you stop bleeding. The last topic we'll talk about in this video is the diseases and disorders that are associated with the circulatory system. We'll just go through them briefly. The first one, there's myocardial infarction, which is also known as a heart attack. You got hypertension or hypotension. Hypertension is high blood pressure, while hypo is low blood pressure. Leukemia, which is the cancer of your blood and results in elevated white blood cells. We have the cardiomyopathy, which is the weakening of your heart muscles, so your heart doesn't beat as well. And then we've got hemophilia, which is no clotting factor in your blood. So this means if you get a little cut, your body will be unable to clot, so you'll keep bleeding. So that is everything. Let's have a quick look at the review so we can make sure that we've covered everything. So what is the circulatory system? The circulatory system is the absorption and circulation of materials throughout an organism. It is responsible for the delivery of food, oxygen to body cells, and carries the carbon dioxide and other waste away from the cells. What is the structure of the heart? We've got the aorta, which carries the blood away from your heart to the rest of your body. We've got the ventricles, which pump blood out of the heart and into the systemic or pulmonary circulation. We've got the atrium, which is the entryway for the blood. The left is oxygenated blood, while the right is deoxygenated blood. We have valves, the 4 heart valves, which keep the blood flowing in the right direction. And then they also have valves themselves, which open and close once the heartbeat. What does the circulatory system consist of? We've got arteries. These take the blood away from the heart. We've got veins, which carry the deoxygenated blood towards the heart. We've got capillaries, the most numerous vessels in the body, and they connect the arteries and veins. And then we have the lymph vessels. They have lymph nodes, which contain phagocytic white blood cells to filter bacteria and dead cells from the lymph. What is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the pressure of circulating blood against the walls of the blood vessels. Most of the pressure results from the heart pumping blood through the circulatory system. Parts of the blood, we've got your plasma, we've got the red blood cells, which are responsible for carrying the oxygen, and they have hemoglobin. We have the white blood cells. There's the phagocytes, which engulf the bacteria, and then the lymphocytes, which create the antibodies, and then we've got platelets, which are involved in your blood clotting. Lastly, the diseases and disorders associated with the circulatory system. We have myocardial infarction, also known as a heart attack, hypertension and hypotension, which is high or low blood pressure, leukemia, which is the cancer of the blood and elevated white blood cells, cardiomyopathy, which is the weakening of the heart muscles, and hemophilia, which is no clotting factor in the blood. So that is all. Again, thank you for watching. I haven't been able to cover every little aspect of the circulatory system, so make sure you continue your research to further improve your learning and knowledge. I'd like to remind you again to like the video, share with your friends, comment below, and most importantly, subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I will see you next time.